All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. So let's go ahead and get started with our morning analysis. And let's see here. Okay, so let's get started with the euro dollar. So euro dollar, euro dollar, euro dollar, euro dollar. Here we go. Okay, so here's the euro. Let's imagine what can happen today, longer term. All right, so longer term outlook, obviously, if you expand out the daily chart, so this is very inverse of the dollar index. You can see that we have that big flag pattern, trying to play out. We have made a pretty substantial move lower. We've made a pretty substantial move lower, and now at this stage in the game, it just looks like it's flagging, trying to flag lower. Okay, but if we're going to break, we probably need to break relatively soon. We're holding at the 78% retracement, and that was I got asked, back here, where do I think we're going, and we're here because I said somewhere between 108.20 and 107.40 more than likely, and this is where we've been consolidating the last couple of days. If I was long the euro, which I'm not obviously, but if I was long the euro, I'd be a little worried that we're not getting much of a bounce. So anybody who's long or trying to pick it up here because they think it's quote unquote cheap is probably going, did I make a did I make the right move? Did I make the right move? To get long. See, I personally think that we have the opportunity to extend lower, on the next stab lower. I don't know if the next low is going to produce. Actually, let me take a step back. I think the next low that we get may produce a more formidable, low. So if we do make another stab lower in the euro dollar, I think that one is probably going to be one that's more tradable, for those of you that are looking for a bounce. Now, what we should do is we should take a look at like some of these moves that we've seen and see if we can extend some fib levels down there, like this one, maybe a 200% fib, 261% fib takes us down to 106, which also coincides with this 88% retracement. Like the whole range here, low to high. See that 261% extension takes us down to 105, which would be a retest of those lows. It seems doable. You take the low here to the high here, and that might be the next real support that we hit, which that to me looks more realistic here. 127% extension of this last move higher from the double bottom, move higher, that we never even finished off the double bottom anyway. I mean, to me that looks very doable, down here to 106, 105, 60, okay? And frankly, if I was going to get in front of the euro dollar, like start trying to buy it, it probably wouldn't be until we get there. I'd have to be pretty convinced that there was a reason why. Like, for example, if we get down there by Friday and the retail sales numbers out of the US are just crap numbers, we just get some really crappy number, maybe that would be a good reason to actually start buying the euro for the next week or two, or maybe the next couple of days or something. But I have to have a reason to buy the euro down there, and right now I don't. Other than it being oversold, there's no real reason for me to be on the long side of the euro dollar, I don't think. Okay. So let's go back, let's an hourly, and let's see where, if we can get an opportunity to sell the euro. I mean, if we can sell it at 108, I mean, how great is this? This right here is the ultimate place to be on the short side. That's when the euro dollar hit 108.10 and it's set up for a perfect short for the euro dollar. That's when those FX gods just start singing in the morning. That's right. 1 point. Those are Greek Orthodox FX gods, just in case you were wondering. For those of you that are like, what the hell did he just sing? I was at 108.10. Be great resistance. I think 108.10. Let's yeah, 108.10 because A, that's previous support. B, that's trendline resistance. C, I bet you that's a decent fib retracement too. Low or high, low. 108.22, that's the number we had written down yesterday, or this 618 we wrote down yesterday. So yeah, anywhere towards 108 and change, that would be awesome. Now, the question is, can we even make it up there? That's the real question, I don't know. Okay, so the low price here is 107.05. That is support. Period. End of story. 1.0705. Okay. Bias is bearish. All right, let's go over to the cable. So the pound has been relatively strong, and matter of fact, the pound I'm not happy about because I'm long the euro pound, that's going down, but I'm long the pound Swiss, that's going up. So I'm happy about it a little bit, not really, but the pound dollar itself is actually pretty strong. But I wouldn't mind selling it like right now, like, oh, 618. Matter of fact, I'm short some pound dollar at 151.42. So there we go. We just hit the 618. Bam, 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 bam. What was the number we wrote down yesterday for resistance for the cable? Do you guys remember? What was the pound we were? What was the resistance we wrote down for the cable yesterday? Did we write down 151.42? No. 151.45. Oh, look at that. Hey, you guys have the numbers down because I don't save them. I mean, they're in my email box, but I don't save them. Okay. 151.45. Look at us. Bam, we hit it, right? Yeah, and if we can make it up to 152, I mean, that's great. But we just, I'll write 152 just to make, just for, shits and giggles. But, I mean, poops and giggles. But, if we can get up to here to 152, that'd be great. But, we hit a resistance that I've been wanting to sell, so I already sold. But I don't mind adding either, so it's only a half size, so 152, still bearish, and we might have just hit resistance. I mean, that might be it. So hopefully it is. And then we can go voila, voila. Did you see that? Voila. Okay. Support. That relative strength was not diverging, by the way, to let you know. Hold on really fast. Let me do something. Okay. Really key support then is 150.90. It's really key support. Not key support, but it's good support. 150.90. Because if that breaks, that means dollar's probably going to start to strengthen again. Pretty good. You're gonna get anybody who is like trying to play the bounce here. They're gonna turn around and say, "All right, I'm done. You know, I'm out." Okay. There's the cable. Let's go to the Swissy. Here is the Swissy. Now, this chart right here is going to show you how important parity is right now. Okay. This is a trend line that obviously just moves its way higher. If from a risk reward standpoint, if you want to get long the Swissy soon around here, it's probably not a bad idea. But I mean, support has to hold at parity. I mean, there's no if and or buts about it. If we break below parity, we are going to come back in pretty good, in my opinion. And I'm long the Swissy. Obviously, I don't want to see that happen, but parity is huge. To keep the bullish trend intact, that's going to be important, and we hold that. Now, resistance is 1.0077, so, or 75, whatever, 1.05. Okay, key resistance, obviously. All right, let's look at the dollar yen. Okay, so dollar yen, just go back over to a weekly chart. Well, I guess the daily chart's gonna be better here. Okay, so here's your daily chart. Challenging that previous trend line. We've had that drawn out for, my God, how long? I've seen a lot of people actually floating around this chart now, but we've had this drawn out for months. Okay, and I really thought we would actually back test this back here. I thought we'd make it up to 122 eventually and back test it, but we spent so much time bouncing around that trend line now, it takes us up to 124 basically. We have hit a there's some previous support there, underside of that trend line tested there. Yesterday we had a nice shooting star. You can see that, right? Well, doji really. Guess we didn't close near our lows, but this chart here suggests that we are, we're going to have some problems if we break below yesterday's lows, which was 123, 122.97. So I'm going to write down that 122.95, 122.95, and we're only 20 pips away from there right now. But it's still a really important support, because if we give that up, that's going to suggest that that the dollar yen's ready to pull back, and maybe the dollar is ready to pull back in general. One of the things that you also have to think about regarding the dollar yen is the bond market, and Mark Chandler had noted that yesterday. But today, bonds are actually a little firmer. That means yields are weaker. So if the yields are if yields are weaker, that means that the dollar yen might be a little weaker. Oh, look at the euro. Geez, euro, so weak, new lows. Wow. And flush. And flush. And flush. I mean, geez. Weak sister. It's not really affecting anything else. I mean, you got, the pound still holding up pretty well. And the Swissies, just hanging in there. It's not really doing a whole lot. Euro yen's going lower. I like that. I'm up 170 pips. I've just been sitting in this thing though. It's not really moving that much. Maybe it is starting to break down now. So let's take a look. Not really. Still just kind of sitting there. God, the euro's getting crushed. Here comes that stop run. You know, the problem with this, like this, you know, move in the euro dollar right now is you don't you have no buyers, you know, at this moment. So wow, clobbering the market right now. Wow, here we go. And so as I said a little earlier, little warning, you know, try not to get in front of the euro right now because it is weak. Let's see, we're about ready to test this 107. I'm gonna close the cable for 12 pips. Thank you very much. I'm out of the pound, by the way. Just letting you guys know. Sorry guys. Obviously, things are moving. I'm just trying to pay kind of close attention to what's happening. I was looking around trying to figure out if there's anything else I really wanted to do here, but there isn't. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Let me see one last thing really quick over here. Yeah, one of the things I think you got to pay attention here to, in my opinion, let's go back to this euro here. I actually did I tell you guys I closed out my peso? I told you yesterday. If you weren't listening to the lunch money webinar, I closed out my peso yesterday. Made some really good money in the peso actually. Pretty happy about that. Yeah, so be careful being on the short side of the euro right here. Looks like we might hold. I still don't think that you should be long. I think just selling rallies is the way to go. But you know, you guys do whatever you're gonna do. Okay, where am I at? Dollar yen. We were just talking about the dollar yen before I got sidetracked. Okay, so dollar yen support 122.95, resistance 123.60. Yeah. I mean 123. It's what we have to write is 123.60. Back into a range here. Let's see if we can do the Canadian really quick. There's a Canadian. Man, this Canadian, all I know is, you know, obviously this resistance here is a big deal because it is a 78% retracement, but we look like we're flagging. You can see it on the hourly charts, but this has been a real strong move. Now it looks like we're flagging. So if we break above 133.20, it's gone. So 1.3320. Major resistance. It is, we are in a range, but let's go take a look at that flag pattern really fast. Dude, the euro, holy crap. Oh my God. I wasn't even looking there. Jeez. Hold on. I'll do the Canadian really quick. We aren't even pulling back 24%. So 132.43. 132, is that low? 50, 132.50. I have to put it there. I mean, 1.3250. Okay. Swissy new highs. Nice. I'll take it. I'll take it. Euro. Really probing down here. Okay. I'm going to have to put you on break. When I come back, we'll continue on with the commodity currencies. Don't go anywhere. Be back in a few minutes. All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you back. Yeah, everybody's blaming the euro pound for the euro dollar wobble. So funny. Yes, I read that too. Yeah, the euro pound actually just pushed lows. I actually bought some more euro pound at 70.72. So just to let you guys know, I'm adding a little bit down here. My cost average in the euro pound long is 71.10. So I'm buying this dip in the euro pound. I don't believe the pound will be as strong as it currently is right now. But that's just me. That's just me. That's right. Let's take a look at the euro pound really quick, and then we're going to go over to the commodity currencies. So the euro pound just hit the 786 retracement. It was hitting the 618, just hit the 786, and it's probably going to bounce around here, I would think. But then again, I was thinking it was going to bounce around the around this trend line too, but it did not. So we'll see if it does. Let's see. Let's go over to, where was I at? Kiwi. We'll go to the Kiwi. Okay, so here's the Kiwi. Not a whole lot happening with the Kiwi. You know, the most important thing about the Kiwi dollar is you have to know that 65 cents is by far the most important support for anybody who's a Kiwi bull. Okay, that is also a 618 retracement. You can see it right here. Also horizontal support that comes through there. So this is like really, well, actually, let me take this back. It's right here. That's going to be major support. Period. End of story. If you guys are like, well, I'm very bullish to Kiwi. Okay, if you are, then keep your stops below here because this is where it gets really dangerous. So 64.80. Okay, so I'm going to write down 2 levels of support because it's risky it's a risk. 65. It's a risk that we start breaking through those, especially as weak as the euro is or as strong as the dollar is. There's an increasing possibility that we come plowing through those numbers through these support levels. All right, now we have to get above 65.75 to change the landscape of the Kiwi. So 65.75 has to be taken out. Still range. Let's go over to the Aussie dollar. Okay, here's your Aussie. The flag didn't play at all. $70.70. 70.20. 70.25. 70.70. 70.20. Okay. Hold on one second, please. You guys, give me a minute. Thanks. I got to do something really fast. Sorry, guys. Just give me a minute. All right. Back over to it. Let's go over to the dollar index. So here's the dollar index. Let's go over to the one that we can pull up an intraday chart, which will be here's the dollar, and you can see we're right up against the previous highs here. So that comes in at 99.35. It's going to be resistance. That's what we were down yesterday, I'm pretty sure. 99.73, 75, 98.75, which is the 38% retracement's even below that, but so we're just basically right back up against our highs. So 99.35 and 98.75. 98.75 is bullish. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't get too carried away trying to chase the euro dollar lower here. We basically just probe stops below. I mean, if I know Pauly's probably long the euro right now. Aren't you, Paul? He doesn't want to admit it. No, he's not. He doesn't want to admit to being a cockroach right now. So he's not going to come. He's not going to tune in. All right. Anyway, let's go take a look at the peso really quick. Here's the peso. Okay, I sold my peso yesterday. I sold it yesterday like right here because we were approaching the 618. And I wanted to get out just ahead of that. We were divergent on relative strength, so I got out like literally like right here. I don't know if it was on the spike up, but I think it was on coming down. I got out of the peso. I am not in it anymore. Now, if the market sees some risk aversion, if we see a little bit of risk aversion, I'll probably get long the peso again. Support 1670, resistance 1695. I'm not trading it right now, but I have no problems doing it again. 16.70, 16.95, and we are in a range. Okay. I could actually even put that back in a bullish trend as we were in a range, and now but we still might even be range bound. But still, I'm just saying that arguably you could put in, it's back in its uptrend again, but whatever. Norwegian Krona holding up. I don't know if I really want to do anything with that. Swedish Krona. The Swedish Krona looks deadly here. I mean, this right here, I mean, realistically, I'm not going to, I don't think, realistically, I should be long the US dollar Swedish Krona. We should be, as long as it's above that red line. We got rejected when it hit this, trend line here, but I mean, realistically, it should be long. I mean, I will get long. Hold on, that's 864. It's 869. It's been a long time since I've traded the Swedish Krona. You know, I bought some, and I'm going to put my stop 863, and you know, obviously I'm looking for a lot higher levels. So if it breaks out, because if it breaks out, it's going to be a pretty massive breakout. So I put in my stop. I'm not risking too much. I got my stop just below here. So all right. You know, if like we did, if the euro did this, let me just show you. If the euro did a, you know, real big, I would not do it. But the euro, all it did, the euro just fell, and it's consolidating here. So I still think that the euro has the potential to continue to move down. So I don't mind being long the Swedish krona, as long as it holds up. You know, I mean, it holds up over that resistance, that's fine, or over that support. Excuse me, previous resistance. But yeah, not really too worried about it here. Okay, so here's your bias chart. Oh, you know what? I guess I should put the US dollar Swedish krona. I just traded it, so support is 8.64 because stop is around 8.63. Yeah, this is support. Resistance is going to be 8.76. But if it takes that out, it's going a lot higher. We're still in a range here. Okay,